Hi, I'm Brett Lane with Davis Instruments. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to go over our new EnviroMonitor system. So let's get started. EnviroMonitor is a powerful, convenient, and affordable system that allows growers to measure and manage the key elements needed to keep crops healthy, save money, and improve yields. Let's watch a quick video to see how EnviroMonitor helps streamline the daily decisions of farming.
I'm a third-generation farmer. Whether it's irrigation or crop development or simply weather, I need to know what's going on in the fields. That's why recently I installed EnviroMonitor. EnviroMonitor is a straightforward system that allows me to measure and manage key things to keep crops healthy, save money, and improve yields. It gives me critical information on soil moisture, frost forecasting, plant growth stages, and more. EnviroMonitor measures what I want, where I want, and gives me the tools to make well-informed decisions. A network of sensors installed throughout my fields wirelessly sends information to a gateway. I can access the information wherever I am, on my phone, tablet, or laptop. I can create custom alerts and share them with the people that need to know. And because it comes from Davis, it's easy to install, affordable, reliable. I'm already seeing the benefits, and I know EnviroMonitor can help you make every acre count.
The EnviroMonitor allows you to make critical decisions based on relevant real-time field data to help you with irrigation, frost protection, and crop management. Use of this real-time data will keep you well informed and help you in making decisions on key issues, including soil moisture, frost alerts, evapotranspiration, crop management, irrigation management, and general weather variables. The EnviroMonitor is a simple system made up of 4 key components. Sensors installed out in the field that are attached to a node that transmits the data to a gateway. Then the gateway, using a cell phone modem, will send the data to the cloud where you can manage it with websites and smartphone apps. The EnviroMonitor communicates through a secure, self-optimizing mesh network. This means that all the nodes placed in the field communicate with each other and decide which is the best path to get the information back to the gateway to be sent up to the cloud. The EnviroMonitor node can take a number of different sensors, up to 4 per node, and these include Davis instrument sensors as well as a number of third-party sensors. You can also attach a Davis sensor suite directly to the gateway to get the following weather parameters. Additional Davis sensors that can be attached to nodes are a Davis rain collector, a temperature humidity sensor, a soil moisture sensor, temperature probe, and leaf wetness sensor. The following companies have third-party sensors that can be attached and are compatible with the Davis EnviroMonitor node. Each node in the field can have up to 4 sensors attached to it, can transmit to an adjacent node or gateway up to 4,000 feet, and comes with a solar panel, rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and 4 D-cells as backup battery. The gateway is the home base for the EnviroMonitor system. All sensor data through the nodes get transmitted eventually to the gateway, where the gateway's cellular modem will take the data and transmit it up to the cloud through the cellular network. The gateway also comes with its own solar panel and rechargeable battery. The EnviroMonitor app is used to configure the EnviroMonitor hardware. It's used to configure the gateway, the node, as well as the sensors. The EnviroMonitor app will use Bluetooth to connect to these devices. It'll connect via Bluetooth to the gateway and the node to set up and configure the system. Let's watch a short video that walks through the EnviroMonitor app and shows you how easy it is to configure a system.
Thank you for your interest in Davis Instruments EnviroMonitor. EnviroMonitor is our app for installing and managing the gateway, nodes, and sensors in your field. The app is available for download on the Apple Store for iPhones and on the Google Play Store if you prefer an Android device. Let's get started by launching the EnviroMonitor app. After launch, you'll have the option to create an account by clicking the Sign Up option. If you already have an account, you can proceed with logging in. Your homepage displays a list of all the gateways that you own or those gateways that have been shared with you. When you select a gateway, you can see all of the nodes in that gateway's network. Going one level further, you can see a list of the sensors that are connected to each node. You can further drill down to an individual sensor and get specific information about that sensor, including the wiring diagram. You can navigate back to your home screen by using the back in the upper left. You'll notice that you have a menu across the top that will show you exactly where you are in the network, from the sensor, back to the node, back to the gateway, and back to your home screen. Now that we are back at the home screen, we can add a new gateway. Let's click the Add Gateway button. EnviroMonitor has been designed to give you all of the instructions you need to add the gateway directly from the app. First, we will connect the red wire to the matching battery terminal. Second, connect the square 4-pin connector to the board. The blue blinking light shows that we are powered. Click Next. Right now, our phone has established a Bluetooth connection with the gateway. Let's connect. After connecting and initializing the gateway on our network, you can add a gateway name. After naming the gateway, you set the location for the gateway. You can zoom in and drag and drop the pin to specifically where you want the gateway to be placed. Click Next. We have 3 service plan levels available. There's a 5-minute service plan, a 15-minute service plan, and a 60-minute plan. We'll select the 15-minute plan and click Next. Please read the terms and conditions. You can select the Send to Email in the upper right-hand corner if you wish to review them separately, and agree. And that is it. The gateway is installed. To further customize your EnviroMonitor installation, you can take a photo that is specific to the gateway. Congrats! You are now in this gateway. Now back at the home screen, you can see that the EnviroMonitor gateway that we just created is available. By selecting that EnviroMonitor gateway, let's start by tapping plus. You'll be prompted to add a node or a weather station. We will start with a weather station. After selecting the Add a Weather Station option, you can select from the list of weather stations that are pre-configured for the sensor suites that might be added to your gateway. Let's select the 6820C Grow Weather. EnviroMonitor will ask us to confirm that we have a Bluetooth connection with the gateway. EnviroMonitor will instruct your installer where to install the cable. And that is it. Click Next. Now your weather station is connected to your EnviroMonitor gateway. Press Finished. After adding the weather station, we can continue to build out our system by adding nodes. Click the plus. Now EnviroMonitor will guide you through the installation of a node. Start with the installation of the lithium-ion battery and inserting the 4D cells as shown. And connect the red and black wire to the board. Click Next. You'll establish a Bluetooth with connection and connect. Once we've connected the EnviroMonitor node to this gateway, we can name the node and choose a location similar to the gateway. Now this node is paired with the gateway and added to that system. We can take a photo and proceed. After we add the node to the EnviroMonitor system, we can proceed with adding sensors to that node. Start by pressing Add Sensor. We have many sensors available to add to the nodes. Menu starts with flow meter, fluid sensor, leaf wetness, pressure sensor, pressure switchers, rain, and soil moisture. Let's start by adding a soil moisture probe. There's a second menu that shows a number of different sensors available for the soil moisture probes. We'll do a drill and drop 120 centimeter. First, you'll need to connect to your node via the Bluetooth. The EnviroMonitor app has all of the wiring diagrams built in for the multiple sensors that we accommodate. For this probe, the gray wire goes in port 2, the green wire goes in port 3, and the red wire goes in port 5. After wiring, click Next. EnviroMonitor will prompt you to plug the cable into port 1. Click Next. Now the soil moisture probe has been added to our node. Click Finished. Let's go back to the gateway. As you can see, in our gateway we have the EnviroMonitor node and a Davis Instruments Grow Weather station. Going into the EM node, we can see that we have one Centec soil moisture probe added to port 1 of the node. From here, you can add additional sensors by following the same process that we did with adding the Centec by clicking Add Sensor and continuing from this point. Now back at your EnviroMonitor home screen, let's talk about how to share gateways. First, enter a gateway. In order to share this view, click the menu and scroll down to Share Gateway. You'll see a list of all users this gateway has been shared with. At the top of the list is the owner and each user. There are view and edit privileges for a gateway. Edit privileges allow a user to edit the user list, add and delete nodes, and add and delete sensors. Let's add a user. Simply enter the email address, select View or Edit Privileges, and click Save. The user has been invited to your gateway. In order to edit the user list, click Edit. You can scroll down to the user, select Change Privileges, or Delete. That is how you share a gateway. Thank you for your interest in Davis Instruments EnviroMonitor.
Transmission distance between the nodes or a node and a gateway can vary depending on terrain. You can see in this diagram that under canopy, we'll get roughly 300 to 500 feet depending on the transmission path through the trees. Whereas outside the canopy, where we have a line of sight view between the two systems, we can get up to 4,000 feet. You can see in the diagram here when they're elevated up to 10 feet in height, we can get the 4,000 feet. This image shows you an almond orchard with 18 nodes placed in it. And the arrows here show you the direction of the data traffic. So you can see that the nodes don't typically try to make it all the way to the gateway. They'll find an adjacent node and send their data through it. So the green lines are a very common communication path. The node often will send its data this direction. And the yellow line indicates a less used, a less common transmission path. But what it serves to show you here is that any particular node will send its data through any number of paths, to get its data back to the gateway most effectively. The Mobilize app is a way for the user to, on the fly, when they're not near a PC, can monitor the conditions from the sensors through a series of reports and views. This lets you make decisions when you're away and out in the field, and still allows you to monitor the conditions of the sensors on your nodes. Now let's watch a short video on the Davis Mobilize app.
Welcome to the Davis Mobilize Basics video. By now you have used the Davis EnviroMonitor app to install a gateway with a weather station and a mesh network of nodes and sensors to collect farm data like soil moisture, leaf wetness, irrigation events, system pressure, and other critical data. Davis Mobilize is the app that you use to create custom views and set alerts from the sensor data being collected by one or more gateways and associated mesh networks that are either owned by you or have been shared with you from the EnviroMonitor app. Like the EnviroMonitor app, Mobilize is available for download on iOS and Android devices. Let's get started by launching the Mobilize app. After launch, you will have the option to create an account by clicking the Sign Up option. If you already have an account, you can proceed by entering your username and password. After login, you will be at your Mobilize home screen, where you can see a list of each view that you have created or the views that have been shared with you. For a shared view, the username of the person that shared the view will be displayed below the view name. The Mobilize home screen is where you can quickly see the items that require attention by reviewing the warning flags that are shown in the upper left corner of the view name. By selecting a view and dragging it to the right, you can see a summary of the alarms. A preview of the alarm criteria is also shown below the view name. The views on your home screen are prioritized by alarm quantity. By selecting the profile icon in the bottom center of the screen, you can access additional information. You can see the views that you are sharing. You can see the views that you are following. By selecting a view, you can see more detail. For now, let's go back to the previous screen. The Preferences tab is where you can set your language, preferred unit of measure, and resolution scale. The Devices tab lists each gateway that you own or has been shared with you. Selecting the name of the view will show you additional information, such as the views using the device, the service type, and the expiration date of the annual plan. Clicking the wrench will allow you to change your photo, username, or email address. Finally, accessing the settings in the upper right will allow you to change your password, view the terms and conditions, find the app version, or log out. Let's go back to the home screen and learn more about views. For each review, you're able to create 4 reports. There's a frost report, a weather report, a crop report, and an irrigation report. The title bars change color based on the type and urgency of the warning alarms that have been triggered. For the frost alert, the future frost outlook is Friday based on the parameters set by the user. For purpose of this demo, I set the early warning threshold at 50 degrees Fahrenheit and the frost threshold at 34 degrees Fahrenheit. You can see those thresholds set on the chart. The warning would be red if our forecast temperature was forecast to be below 34 degrees on Friday. With the early warning set at 50 degrees, the frost forecast alarm has been triggered. Let's click the tool icon to review those parameters. We can start by clicking Edit Settings. You can see that we are using the Davis Instruments temperature sensor located on the decagon leaf watermark temp node. Our frost threshold is set at 34 degrees, and our early frost warning is set at 50 degrees. By setting the frost threshold at a more reasonable 36 degrees, you will notice that the frost alarm is no longer active. Let's move on to the weather report. By clicking the drop-down arrow, you can see all of your current conditions. The 10-minute average wind is highlighted in red because the alarm parameter has been exceeded. The weather report shows 2 graphs. One is for actual temperature, showing the daily high and the daily low to the left of the dashed line, and the forecasted temperature to the right of the line. We also have a chart for rain, daily rain totals, actual and forecast. Let's scroll through the individual weather settings to see what weather alarm thresholds can be set. We'll do that by clicking the wrench. We have a 10-minute average wind alert, a high wind alert, a daily rain alert, a high rain rate alert, a high temperature alert, and a low temperature alert. Moving on to the crop report, you have the option to track growing degree days or chilling hours. You can select the start date and other criteria to customize your crop targets. Both the growing degree start date and chill hours are optional, and you can chart only one at a time. You can see you have the option to customize your crop targets for both growing degree days tracking and chill tracking. If you want to track both, no problem. You can create additional views for each. Finally, let's take a look at the irrigation report. Under current conditions, you can see whether or not your irrigation is on or off, the time and duration of your last irrigation, the soil moisture at each depth, soil temperature, today's ET for the prior 7 days, and estimated rainfall for the next 7 days. The soil moisture sum chart shows zones for saturation, good, stress, and wilt. These can be set by clicking the wrench. You can also select your pressure sensor or switch, and a flow meter if one is available. ET is calculated here by selecting the appropriate weather station. Now let's go back to the home screen. You'll notice that the organic cherry view is no longer at the top of our list. This is because we changed the frost forecast. Now only the high wind and max water alarms remain. Now that you understand how to review and change the settings for a view, let's wrap up this session by creating a new view. We start by pressing plus and give the view a name. You can add a GPS location if you choose. Let's press plus to create a frost forecast. Available devices are shown. Let's select the weather station. And we will select the Davis Instruments Grow Weather on the gateway and click Next. We can keep our frost threshold set at the default 32, and let's set the early warning frost threshold at 36. And our frost setup is complete. Open the menu to see current conditions and chart. You can continue setting up the weather, crop, and irrigation reports as desired. Please keep in mind that you do not need to set up all 4 reports for every view, nor do you need to set every alarm threshold. Now that you've created a view in Mobilize, let's talk about how to share that view with others. Let's enter the organic cherry view. In order to share this view, click the arrow in the upper right and enter the username, click the user, and share. You can edit the list who you're sharing by clicking Edit, selecting a user, and you can choose to delete that user. Now that we've shared a view with another user, let's see what views we're sharing and which views are being shared with us by entering our profile. Under Views, you can see first which views are being shared with you, and then also which views you're following. In order to edit the views that you are following, let's click a view. In that view, I can scroll down and choose to unfollow the view. You can see that view has been removed from my menu. In order to manage and edit the views you're sharing, simply click a user, press Edit, select the view, and you can disable sharing of that view. After sharing views with the members of your team, You can rest assured that they will see all of the same alerts and thresholds that you see, allowing you to have continuity of management on your farm. Mobilize gives you the flexibility to measure, monitor, and manage the field data that is important to you. The choice is yours. Thank you for selecting EnviroMonitor.
Our WeatherLink.com site also allows you to view data, not only on the bulletin here that gives you current conditions at the moment, but you're also able to chart and graph any number of variables that you want, export the data to Excel, and set alarm thresholds so that you can be notified by email or text of any weather parameter that exceeds your alarm threshold. Now let's watch a short video on WeatherLink.com.
Welcome to the WeatherLink.com Basics video. WeatherLink.com is where you go to view more detailed sensor data collected from your EnviroMonitor network and to take your Mobilize experience one step further. In this session, we will review your bulletin page, how to create custom data tables and charts, export data, and set alarms with email and text message notifications. But first, let's start with some basic navigation, then take a look at the My Account settings. From WeatherLink.com, scroll down and access EnviroMonitor in the lower right hand of the screen. After logging in, you arrive at your bulletin page. In the upper right corner of your browser, you're able to toggle on and off the menu panel. With the menu panel on, you will see three icons below your name and photo. By default, you begin on the EnviroMonitor node icon in the center. This is where you want to be in order to review sensor data from the EnviroMonitor systems that you have access to. Let's click the profile icon to enter the My Account page. With our menu panel on, you can see your options for managing your account. Under Account Settings, you have your account information. Here you can change your photo, change your name, address, and update your picture. Under Unit Measurements, you can set the unit of measures for your devices and sensors. Simply change Fahrenheit to Celsius, feet to meters, and save. In display formats, you can select how you want to see the date, the time, number format for comma and decimal place, and your display resolution. Toggling over the question mark, you can see some more information on how the display resolution feature works. You can also select your email language. Let's exit. We are now back at the bulletin. Across the top panel, you can keep track of where you are on the site and navigate to other sections like Chart, Data, Map, and the Mobilize views that you had created on your Mobilize device. The bulletin displays the current conditions from your sensors. On the bulletin, you can toggle between the Tile view and Report view by selecting the appropriate icon in the upper left. While viewing the report, you'll also have the ability to print your current conditions. Back at the tile view, let's review how to customize your bulletin. You can resize and reposition tiles simply by dragging and dropping. You can expand the forecast to see some more information. You can choose which tiles to display from the drop-down boxes on your menu panel, or you can remove tiles simply by clicking the X and closing your tile. You can clear all tiles from the menu bar and select a handful and update, or you can select all to see all of your current conditions on your bulletin page. You can switch to the bulletin page of other EnviroMonitor systems by selecting that system from the drop-down box near the menu panel. Please note that you only have the ability to edit the bulletin for systems that you own, as shown under My Devices. You will only have view privileges for systems that have been shared with you. Let's move on to the Chart tab. EnviroMonitor gives you a powerful charting tool that allows you to chart multiple data sets together with the flexibility to change axis settings and graph types. With the power to analyze the relationships between different data sets, you can see how a decision to change one condition may impact another. On the landing strip chart, we have multiple data sets charted with a separate y-axis for each. We have 3 temperature probes, 3 depths from a soil moisture probe, and rain. Let's add humidity. We can start by expanding the weather station menu in the menu panel, selecting humidity, and clicking update. You can see the line for humidity has been added to the chart. We can remove it in the same manner. Uncheck and update. Similar to the bulletin, you can use the drop-down box to switch to a different system and create charts for that system as well. Here we are looking at the weather station chart with a start date of April 16th and a span of 1 week. I can zoom on the chart by dragging and selecting an area, which will allow me to see some more detail. Additionally, I can change the scale on the soil moisture chart to provide even greater detail. Let's move on to the Data tab. The Data tab allows us to select sensor data from any of the systems that we have access to by selecting a system from the drop-down box and the individual sensors that we want to capture the data for. We can select a start date, and a time horizon. And once the data is run, you can export to any email account. Moving on to the Map tab. The map is an easy way to see where your systems are located by region. The color of the map pins are determined by the current temperature at each location, as shown in the temperature bar across the top of the map. On the Map button, you can choose to toggle on and off terrain, as well as satellite view and labels. You can select a system and see specific information of the weather station: temperature, humidity, wind, and barometer. You can jump to the bulletin page by clicking Bulletin. When you return to the map page, it defaults back to the current settings. Now let's move on to the Mobilize page. The Mobilize tab is where you are able to review each of the views that you created on your Mobilize app. There's the frost report, crop report, weather report, and irrigation report. First, let's look at the frost report. On the left-hand panel, we can see current temperature and forecast low. You can also see the duration of the frost outlook for 4 hours on Saturday. For purpose of this demonstration, I set the early frost warning at a 50-degree threshold and the frost threshold at 45 degrees. You can see the current data to the left of the dashed line and the forecast temperature to the right of the dashed line. And you can see on 4/29, we are forecasted to drop below the frost threshold for a few hours. Moving on to the crop report, you can see your growing degree date progress and targets as of the date. You can look at your settings in the right-hand panel for the crop report that were set on your Mobilize app. Moving on to the weather report, you can see all of your current conditions. The temperature chart shows actual temperature to the left of the dashed line and forecast temperature to the right of the dashed line. You can also select your rain chart to see your daily rain accumulations and your month-to-date totals. You can see the month-to-date total resets at the first of every month. Let's move on to the irrigation report. The irrigation chart will show us our current status at each depth on our soil moisture probe, our soil temperature, and ET, and expected rainfall for the next 7 days. And the sum of all levels are shown on the total soil water content chart. Finally, let's review how to set alarms. Do so by entering your account settings. From this device info page, you can also change names, edit your locations, and see some basic information as far as when the system was installed and the subscription plan and when the subscription ends. The device settings page is where you would change your device settings to properly calibrate your device for altitude, for barometric pressure and wind, and to set the direction that your anemometer is pointing. Under the alarms, you're able to set alarm conditions for the sensors connected to the gateway. You can control how you're notified by these conditions in the notifications section. You can set alarms for the Davis Instruments solar radiation, the Grow Weather 24-hour 6825C, or the Davis Instruments barometer. Expanding under Cost Organics, we can see we have nodes that can have specific alarms set there as well. Under this node, we can set the alarm conditions for a decagon, a leaf wetness sensor, the aerometer watermark, or a temperature probe. Finally, for this node with soil moisture probes, you have the ability to set multiple alarms. You can set alarms for full point, refill point, onset of stress, and high and low temperature. These alarms allow you the flexibility to set that at each depth on the probe. In order to set the alarms, you need to go back to the parent system, and we can see our notifications. Under notifications, you're able to set a daily summary email that will be sent for all system alarms to each of the following addresses, and the time for that daily summary to be sent. Email notifications can be set for any system alarm at the time the alarm occurs. And text notifications will deliver an email in the form of a text message directly to your phone. Thank you for joining us on this introduction to WeatherLink.
The key advantages of the EnviroMonitor system is it delivers actionable intelligence by measuring, monitoring, and managing critical field data from remote locations throughout your network of sensors. And that wraps it up. If you have any questions, contact us at sales@davisnet.com or call us at 510-732-9229, and we'll be happy to help and answer any questions you may have. Thank you.